Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to jump back on this 1972 Plymouth Fury. We're going to get on the roof, the bottom side of the roof this time, coat it with the bed liner material. The same stuff that we put on the outside of the roof, that stuff worked great. So let's coat the bottom side of the roof. Let's do the floor while we're at it, get it ready for our brand new carpet to go in. And what else? Let's see. Oh yeah, let's get the headliner cleaned up and reinstalled. Just getting in here with our bed liner material and just rolling it out on the bottom side of the roof. We've been talking about doing that on a previous video, and I'm just getting that done now, so pretty easy to do. Just like we did on the roof. It's the exact same material out of the exact same bucket. It was just what we had left over from doing the outside of the roof. If you guys missed those videos, we had a major rust issue on the roof. I mean, that's kind of putting it mildly. And our bed liner material, just the old cheap stuff that we got from Walmart, we rolled it on there, fixed it right up, man. It looked really good. I'm very impressed with the way that it turned out. So anyway, I just thought it would be a smart move. Some of you guys have kind of recommended it as well, just to kind of sandwich it all together and make sure it stays sealed up so the rust doesn't come back. So that's all I'm doing right now. I'll finish that up and then we'll move on to the next part. Cool thing about doing the bottom side is we don't have to get as carried away with making it look all good, you know, getting the texture right and all of that, like we did on the outside. Man, you guys, the ones that watched the video, what do y'all think, man? I mean, that outside of it did look really good, you know, really good after we did all that. It really does actually look like a vinyl roof out there. I mean, kinda, close enough. Okay, so that takes care of the roof. I think we can finally leave it alone and move on. I think for now, what I'm going to do is start the floor. We'll start off by giving it a good vacuuming. So I got the floor cleaned up. Got a lot of the junk that was left over from when we pulled that dash out. A lot of the chunks fell out all into the floor. We got all that cleaned up and everything. And I'm going to take some sandpaper. I've got some 80 grit here. And I'm just going to kind of rough that floor up a little bit. I'm going to do that over the whole floor. So the floorboard is all scuffed down, cleaned up, ready to go. I've already wiped it all down with my paper towels and my glass cleaner, my spray way, like I always do before I paint anything. It's ready to go. This is the exact same bed liner material that we did the roof with. And some of you guys are wondering about this. Why does it kind of look gray looking? That's just body shop dust. Not to worry. Once we wash this off with the hose, it's going to look black as night, just like it did when it was brand new, because it's done nothing but sit in the shop. It hasn't gone outside at all yet, so it ought to be as good as new still. This is the exact same stuff, the exact same can. We're just going to use what's left on the floor. I bought a little bit extra just in case this isn't enough, so let's just get it poured in there and get going. Yeah, I figure it's going to take all of this and then some. So I went ahead and bought an extra quart. This is just the cheap stuff from Walmart. And it seems to be doing fine for what we're needing. I don't know how well it'll hold up in your truck bed. I mean, that is what it's actually made for. But I tell you what, for what we're using it for, it ought to last a lifetime, because that roof is not going to really see any kind of punishment like a truck bed would see, you know. It's going to sit under a carport or in a shop most of its time. It's not going to be sitting out getting beat down by the sun. That's not usually how I do my cars. Yeah, so once we get done with this thing, she's going to have a pretty easy life. And anyway, let's go ahead and get our coating started. So I figured we'd start in the middle and work our way out. I mean, this is good old-fashioned common sense, right? And we'll do everything just like we did on the roof. You know, we'll do a combination of the brush and the roller, and we ought to do just fine. I'm going to go around all of this stuff like my seat belts. I'm not going to coat the seatbelt bolts or any of that. That doesn't make any sense. It'll just make it hard to remove the bolt later if we need to. The stuff is pretty thick. So obviously all around in this area we will do the brush and the dabbing method. That's what they recommend. Just dab it on like this. Kind of creates a texture. And then once we get around this stuff, you know, the seatbelt mount and the seat belt and all that, we can switch over to the roller. And just like the bolt, I'm not going to actually coat the mount. Kind of waste of material. I don't think we need to do all of that. I'm going to work this stuff right down into the seams here. See if that helps us any with preserving this old car. Keep the water out of it. We don't want her rusting up on us. She's done good so far, you know. She's a relatively rust-free car with the exception of that roof. You guys saw how that was, boy. But that's all right. We have managed to get through all of that. I bet I could run a little bit of that down in here. Probably wouldn't hurt. This stuff might help us with the heat too. You know, help keep some of the heat out of the car. Kind of like a Dynamat or a lizard skin or any of those products. I figure since we've already got this, why not just use it for this? Keep it all cheap, right? This is all left over from the roof again. I think I mentioned that already. Well, I'm gonna have a hell of a time trying to keep that out of the out of the material. That's all right. The stuff is water soluble, so I have such a hard time saying that word. Water soluble, so we can wash all of this off with the water, provided you don't let it sit up. Once you let it sit up, you'll have to use, like, I think mineral spirits, if I remember right. So now that we're out of that area, we can switch over to our roller. We'll load this roller up really good, and I'll just start right here. Why not? There we go. See, now we're getting somewhere, man. Why don't you break the roller out? I like painting your house, huh? Goes a lot quicker with a roller than with a brush. So we'll just coat all of this down. We're not going to get crazy with it as far as the way it looks because we kind of don't care. Just as long as it's on there. It's not like the roof. We don't have to get carried away with the way it looks. The way we did it up there is we actually did really take a lot of time. I was very mindful of how this stuff went on, keeping track of our roller, you know, the marks that are left behind with the roller. You want it to stay really nice and uniform anytime you're working on your truck bed or even your, like what we did on the roof there. But in here, not so much, just so long as it goes on. I want it to be on kind of uniform, but we don't care about all the marks, you know, the brush strokes or any of that kind of stuff. We just don't care. So again, we're going to switch over to our brush, work that down into all these little crevices here, and I'm just going to do that throughout this whole thing. This shouldn't take a lot of time, and I'll probably just do one really nice even coat and call it good. I think that'll be enough for this. Like I said, we don't really need it to be super durable because it's not going to see any action. It's going to be hidden underneath the carpet. So it looks like that's going to do it for our leftovers. Let's open up that other can. And I believe the other can will be enough to get us the rest of the way. Get this cracked open. Give it a good little stir. This stuff sits on the shelf for a long time. It's just like anything else, you know, primers and sealers and all that. You got to give it a good stir. So Make sure it's all mixed up really good. I actually shook it for a good minute before I even cracked it open, and still you could tell it wasn't quite mixed up as good as we needed it to be, so stirring is a must. I think that might get it right there. Let's get some in here. All right, there we go. We're off to a good start. So I'm going to continue on with this. I'll get this whole side done over here, and I'll check in with you guys in a minute. Well, it's about time for a refill. Check it out. Did get the driver's side done. Man, it looks so much better. That looks so much better than what we started out with over there. So I'm going to get over there and make that side look like this side. Man, this car's starting to look so much nicer. God, this stuff is so thick. That's good though. Gets in there and coats all of that down, and will smother that surface rust, cut off its oxygen supply, and it shouldn't grow anymore. Yeah, that stuff here, I mean, that's just surface rust. You know, once we knocked it down with our sandpaper, cleaned it up. The coating ought to make all of that go, I mean, not go away, but it won't advance any further. It should lock it in, because this stuff is really thick, and as long as it's stuck on there really good, the rust shouldn't get any more oxygen anyway for it to grow, and it should just kind of just die off, lock it in its tracks, so to speak. And you're making a mess. That's all right. Like I said, you can wipe this stuff off with a wet rag as long as you catch it before it sets up. Once it starts to set up, you're in for a world of hurt. You'll have to switch over to something a lot more aggressive, like some mineral spirits or something. I'll have to read on the label and see. I can't exactly remember. And that you could clean it with acetone. That's what it is, acetone. After it dries, that's what you're going to need. So be sure to catch it before it dries. You'll have a way easier chance of cleaning it up with that soap and water. I'd be lying to you if I said this wasn't actually kind of fun to do. You guys probably don't believe me. This is actually kind of peaceful doing this. You might actually kind of have fun messing around with this if you haven't tried it already. Kind of a rainy day outside right now, and what better way to spend your time than in the shop trying to make something look a lot nicer than when it started out, right? So I'm actually enjoying this. This stuff goes on so thick. I'm hoping that it'll help us with a little bit of, kind of have some sound deadening qualities to it, you know? It's definitely going to seal all this up in here really nice. And what we'll do is, we'll do something like this on the bottom too. You know, just sandwich this metal in between some good thick layers of some kind of a protectant, whether it's this stuff or something else. You know, let's just try our damnedest to preserve what's left, because I believe we caught this car just in time. Had we let it go any further, we'd be in here trying to do a bunch of patching and what have you, and man, we lucked out on it. We haven't, I don't think we're going to have to replace a single piece of metal on this car, with the exception of just a little bit of work inside of the trunk on the floorboards. There's a couple of problem spots there, but nothing major at all. I think we'll breeze right through that one, no issues. So I feel pretty fortunate with this old car so far. Hasn't been too rough on me. I like that. So when you get to a bolt hole right there, that's I believe that's for a seatbelt. Don't go at it, you know. Try to kind of, skim over it and leave it. Don't try to force this stuff down in there. You don't want this stuff all down in your threads. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really surprised at how much of the brushing I'm doing versus the rolling. I thought we would be using that roller a lot more than we are. There's just a lot of little crevices and tight little areas you got to get around in here. So be prepared to use the brush a lot. Oh, there goes the last of it. Let's go see how far we got. This is all we got left, this little spot here, so we got more than enough. Well, there goes the last of it. Man, we are done, y'all. Check it out. Wait, hold on. Let me work the texture down here. Almost forgot. Once it's on, I like to go over it one little pass with the roller just to make sure everything's kind of uniform. It helps with the drying, I think. That way you're not dealing with big globs of it here and there, you know? Well, hell, looky there. We even had a little bit left over. That's cool. We can use that for something else, I guess. So there you have it. The whole floor has been coated. I'm going to let that dry. And then I think we're going to put the headliner in. I wanted to put the headliner in before I did the floor for obvious reason. You know, you don't want to be all over your new floor and then trying to mess with the headliner. But it is rather chilly today. We're doing like 56 degrees right now. We went from 80s and 90, like pushing 90 degrees like yesterday and the day before, and now we're down in the 50s. So I'm not gonna mess with this. I'm scared to death of this thing. And in the cold, I think we stand a chance of splitting it or pulling it apart at the seams. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow or the next day. We're gonna be back in the 70s again, and I think at that point, it'll be a little more forgiving to mess with. And besides, man, once that stuff sets up, it is so friggin' durable. It ain't gonna matter if we're in there messing around trying to do the headliner. And besides that, it's got brand new carpet that we're gonna put over it. Remember, someone sent us a brand new molded floor, carpet kit, man. It's just gonna go right in. We ain't gotta mess with nothing, trying to get it to form to the contours of the floor or anything. This thing is already molded to fit right into place, made specifically for this car. Very, very much appreciated. I cannot believe somebody sent me that. So let's let that sit up for a little bit. I'm going to go in the house. I still got to clean my brushes. Look at this. This thing's a mess. I can't believe that stuff washes off with water, but it does. Hot soapy water is all you need. So I've been letting this sit up for a little while now, and it's actually already, look at this. I can touch it. That feels pretty well completely dry. I mean, I bet if I was just to sit here and like really push on it and just hold my thumb there for a few seconds, pull it off, and yeah, you would leave a little thumbprint. But otherwise, I mean, that feels dry. You see what I'm saying? So it would need to sit probably overnight before you could come out and actually have it feel like where it won't leave a thumbprint anymore. I'm gonna go through my brackets here and just dust a little black spray paint on them, because why not? I'm gonna do those back there and those over there. And I think I'm going to do the little seat belt. Those there. Put a little on that. Why not? Alright. Jump over to the other side. Do the same thing. Alright, so now with all that spray painted, I think I'm going to get my wiring harness located back where it goes. It goes right across the floor. Right over the transmission drive shaft tunnel there. Plugs in over on that other side, and these little things here kind of hold it down, keep it out of harm's way, and that carpet will lay right over the top of that. Yeah, so that carries right on over here to the driver's side. Get those folded down. Plugs in right here. That seat wasn't a power seat, but it was heated. It had a little heating element underneath it. And I don't know if any of that stuff still works, but there we go. We got that plugged in and routed where it goes. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's what that goes to. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know what else would plug in underneath that seat besides that. So I thought maybe we'd clean up the back side of this headliner. It's pretty gross. Look at that. I mean, I think we had a mouse living up in there at one point. Let's clean it up, man. I got me this cleaner deal here. We're going to hook this up to the air compressor. It's got a little bit of cleaning solution in it. I put some rug doctor in it. We'll try that, see if it works. Anyway, it's kind of like a tornado. Works pretty good. Shoots air through it, and inside of there, that thing spins around and around really fast. This guy here, I don't know if you can see that or not, but pretty cool, man. Check it out. I'll show you. Well, damn, my GoPro battery went dead. I wanted to show you guys this. So I started out on the top, and I was just going to go from the top and work my way down, but it started working out so good that I was like, man, I need to do like a half and half. So I came down to this section here, and you can see the difference. I mean, look at this. That is turning out way cleaner. This over here, don't worry about this. This looks dirty, but it's not. We've already washed all the dirt away. That's just the old adhesive. Not to worry there at all. The dirt's gone. So our new adhesive ought to stick just fine. So anyway, I'm going to show you guys how this thing works, man. It's pretty awesome. Obviously, you want to put a little bit of water in there, maybe some cleaner or what have you. We just used the Rug Doctor there. Anyway, you do yours however you want. That's what I did on mine. And interestingly, it barely used any water so far. I mean, I only filled it to about right there, and we're down to here. So just plug it right into your air compressor. Got a little valve here. You can control the air pressure going in. You don't want a whole lot of air pressure. I think I'm going to give this area down in here where that mouse was living a little bit of extra attention. Man, that thing does look a lot better. Check that out. It was pretty nasty. Had a lot of dirt in it from that roof. You know, you guys remember the roof had a bunch of holes in it before we fixed it. So that had been leaking water and dirt and everything inside of this thing for years. And man, it turned out pretty good. Check it out, all down there. Got all the nastiness washed off of it. It ought to be good. I guess maybe we flip it around over the other side and do it as well before we attempt putting it in. I think maybe I should have moved my jack stands. What do y'all think? Let's flip it on around here. So I think we got it about as clean as we're going to get. The best part is it smells good now. So unfortunately, we're left with just a couple little stains. I couldn't get them to come out. There was some more kind of over here. You can see some dark spots. I ain't too worried about any of that. Once the headliner's in the car, completely installed and done with me messing with it, no more touching on it, pushing, gluing, anything. Once all that's done, I'm going to mask everything off and I'm going to spray that thing with some vinyl spray. We're going to go black with it. Some of you guys are sold on the green. That's cool, man. I like the green too, but it's just always going to look kind of dirty like that. And man, I think having it black would be much better. A black headliner can make the inside of a big old car like this seem really freaking cool. I've seen it. I've done it. It's awesome. So it'll match our dash. That's the best part. And we're going to make some inserts. I think I made mention on the last video that we were going to come in here and make some inserts for the bottom of the doors, just little things like that. And it's all going to be black. So Black's the easiest to come by. You could get it anywhere, and we ain't got to worry about it. You know, like if we tried to do green, it's going to be a shade or 2 or 5 off. So I would rather go black. It's too much green in there anyway. I got to break some of that up. So I think green and black's going to look awesome together, to be honest. So let's let that dry up for a little while, and we're gonna make an attempt at putting that in. You guys cross your fingers and wish me luck. I'm gonna be as gentle with it as I possibly can because we definitely don't want to split these seams. So hey, what do y'all think about this guy, man? That worked out pretty good. I like this thing. Unsponsored content that was sent to me by a subscriber, and I really do appreciate it, man. So I've hung that headliner out to dry for a little while now. I think it's time to try to put it in, man. I'm gonna give this a shot. Now, if you've never done one of these, the way it works is those rods have to poke in these holes. You see how there's 3 holes there, and then there's 3 more down here, and it does that all the way down this roof line. And so the smart thing to do would have been to pay attention to where those came out and mark them. But me being a rookie, that's not how it went. So, hey, man, I think I've explained a million times, I'm not an interior guy. I'm just winging it. So, hey, note to self, next time we'll pay attention to stuff like that. But lucky for me, I've got video clips. I went back and watched some, and nearest I could tell, it's going to go on these bottom holes. Yeah, these right here, the bottom ones, is what I saw in my videos. So, that's where we're going to start. So yeah, I got my headliner sitting out here in the sun, and it's crazy how much better this feels now that it's warmed up compared to what it felt like when it was cold. It was very stiff before, and now it feels like brand new practically. I've got that brand new molded carpet kit sitting out here in the sun too. We're gonna let it warm up really nice. I might flip this over, let the back side of it warm up now. All right, let's see if I can figure out. I forgot which way is the front. No, I'm just kidding. Got the sun visor holes. There's no way to get it mixed up. So anyway, here we go. So the way I remember this working is this first bar back here closest to the back, it actually went into these little hook things hanging down right here. Yeah, there's a little hook hanging down from the ceiling. There's one there, and there's one back here, right? And that went right into the, you could barely see them. I don't even know if you'll see them on camera, but there's a little tiny hole poked through right there. And then there's another one over here. And once you put that back on there, that's going to hold us up. And then we can start our first rod into the hole, which is somewhere back here. Where's that first one at? Is it this one? Let's see if we can get the first one going. This will help hold it up for us too. Make it a little easier for us to manage, I would think. Yeah, you look on here, you actually see where the hole was for that to go into. So there we go, man. We're right back where we started. That's a good starting point. Let me get out from underneath here and see if I can get the rod poked in over there. So with that one in, let's go on to the next one here. I'll get it started on this side, and then we can move on over to the other side and do that one. So with that side in, we'll jump over here, do this side. So far, so good. This would be so much easier with an extra set of hands, I'll tell you that much. There we go. There's our rod. There's the hole off over here. And there we go. We fell out of that side. And this guy fell off. What are you doing? You're supposed to be on helping us out here. Okay, so I think I've got this headed in the right direction at this point. I was off. I was off on the first try, that's for sure. It was never going to go in like that. So here we go. That's the second rib there. Let's get this next one in. Looks like it's going to go over here. Now these I know without a doubt went in that bottom hole just from my videos that I referenced, the video clips. So without a doubt, we're right in here. Okay, there's that one. That was a bit of a struggle, but it finally got it. There we go. That's the last one. They go in really easy when you actually turn them the right way. I had that other one in upside down, and it was really hard to get in. That explains why. We're missing a little clip. We need something to hold this wire up here, I would think. You don't want it rubbing against that. I mean, it could get pinched in between there, so that's not good. So we'll figure something out there, get that kind of out of the way. And then other than that, all the ribs are in. Come back here at the back and check it out. Look, both of our, what do you call those, man? I don't even know what those are called. Whatever they are that held it to this part back here. That's a factory thing. Everybody told me about that. I thought that was just something somebody did. I didn't know. That was my first time seeing that, but they said that's a factory thing, kind of holds it all together, holds tension on it, I guess. And so now at this point, we're going to want to stretch the material over these spikes. Y'all remember those? Remember the spikes? They run all the way across the back of here. And we're just going to kind of stretch it back over that. Might run a little glue along the edges. It should be good to go. Give this a shot, see if I can. I'm gonna try to line it right back up with its original little spikes. And I think once we get them on there, all I gotta do is take a hammer and kind of fold them back over just a little bit, because I did kind of straighten them out just a little bit to help get them off with, so I didn't rip my material when I took it apart. So they will need folded back over just a little bit. The main thing is just to make sure we're in the right spot. I think I am. So yeah, just right here, just want to kind of just barely tap it over. Just like that. I mean, that is literally all it takes. And then that should stay in the hole just like it's supposed to. I think I'm going to go through and do that in just a few little spots. And then once I'm without a doubt sure that I'm in the right spot, which I'm pretty sure I am, then I'll go back and fold them all over. Yeah, everything's lining up really good. We'll do the same exact thing up here in the front. This is where we're going to get our stretch, I bet. Alright, let's see what we can get going here. We'll line these holes up. Looks like this one's going to go here. Golly, how am I ever going to stretch it that far? So either the headliner has shrunk or the roof grew, one or the other. I mean, look how much shorter it is. I mean, this has to go all the way up to there. God, how am I supposed to ever do this? I feel like I'm going to pull this thing apart trying to get it to stretch that far. What's the trick, y'all? Do I need to move my rods around? What's going on here? So I was going to make an attempt to try to stretch this as far as I could and put a screw in it just to hold it for now, because right here's where the mirror goes, so it should be okay. All right, there we go. Let's see if that'll at least hold us. It's all holding tight. I feel like if this windshield wasn't in the way, I could get in there and just like really grab it. I was wondering if maybe taking a heat gun to it would help kind of relax it and see if we can't get a little stretch going, man. God, we got to stretch it out like a whole friggin' inch. I just don't know, man. So yeah, man, warming it up seems to be helping a lot. In fact, without the heat, there's just no way at all. In fact, I'm completely shocked that we were able to get that much stretch out of it at all. I mean, it was so kind of stiff, you know. So anyway, that's what I'm going to keep doing. Just keep working my way down the edge of this. We'll go all the way across the front of it, and then we'll do the back too. Tell you what, man, you gotta act fast too. You get that heated up, you want to get that folded over pretty well immediately, because they don't give you much time. It'll cool back off, and then you're stuck again having to run some more heat. That's all right. It's a slow go, but we are getting it. There we go. We made it across the front now. And when it comes to the sides here, that all gets glued all the way down the side. We will spray the back side of it, run a little glue on there, and that'll take care of that. Now, just like we did on the back side, we got to tap these back down. I think we can go ahead and pull our temporary screw out now. Make us a new hole there. Didn't look like there was actually one there before. Bend that one over. We got, looks like one more here, one more here, and one more here. We're just about done with it. Okay, last one up front. We can move to the back. Yeah, the back's just going to be more of the same. Pretty simple. I think we're on the home stretch at this point. We're just about ready to run a little bit of adhesive. I want to barely tap these. Some of you guys are freaking out thinking I'm going to hit that window. I think we'll be okay. Just barely tapping. It don't take much. I would just use my pliers, but the pliers won't give me, can't really bend on it. Like maybe do something like that, I guess. Ah, there we go. Okay. So I've got all of these along the back side now, and man, it's stretched out nice. Looks good. So I got my 3M glue, man. This stuff works really awesome. You can pick this up at Walmart pretty much anywhere. Let's just put a little bit in here. Let's see, about like that. Let's get it right up inside of there. I want to put a little on. I want to put a little bit on the headliner itself too, and this. And come in here and do a little right here too. And this is exactly how it was from the factory. So let's let those sit for just a few minutes. It's gonna get to the point where you could touch it and it won't be sticky, and then we could stick this on there and it shouldn't go anywhere after that. I'm not too worried about this stuff because our pieces are gonna hold all of this on, so it's not like it's gonna fall off or anything, but I will put a little bit of glue on there just to hold it. Well, there it is, man. We did actually get it back in. I had my doubts, man. That right there along that front edge was like that much too short. I never in a million years would have imagined that was going to stretch and go back into shape. Never, not at all. No way. This vinyl's very old and it's been sitting practically in the weather for 10 years. That roof had so many holes in it. It's a miracle. I can't even believe stitching. None of the stitching came loose. None of the seams. Nothing split or tore or anything. So pretty freaking unbelievable, to be honest with you. I'm telling you, this old girl wants to live again. She really is starting to take shape. I can't wait to get the carpet in there. I am going to wait till the next video, you guys. Sorry, this one's getting too long already. We got to save some more for next time, man. So anyway, I'm going to get on out of here. And you guys be sure to tune in next time, because that ought to be pretty interesting, seeing that carpet go in. And then once the carpet's in, we can put the dash in, and that's going to really be cool, man. It's all going to start coming together, and it's going to look really cool in there, I think. You guys remember the dash, right? Look at there. She's still holding together. Nothing came loose. Everything's still intact. Some of y'all say that's going to come loose as soon as I set it out in the sun. Hey, I don't know, man. I've never done this before like this, so we'll just have to wait and see. Now, I will say this. If that does happen, not to worry. We'll peel that stuff off of there. We'll just coat it down with some more of this stuff here. This stuff's cheap. You buy it at Walmart, and it works great. You guys see on the roof how it just gives a slight little texture. That would look just fine on that dash. I wouldn't care one bit, to be honest with you. So I'm not worried about it, man. That vinyl comes loose. This is what we'll do. We won't have any issues with this stuff. Hell, if it's tough enough for a truck bed, it'll damn sure work on that dashboard. That's for sure. So no worries there, man. We'll get through it. So, hey, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm trying to get more and more videos out to you guys a lot faster, so I hope y'all appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, and I really do want this channel to grow, so we're going to put more videos out. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I'll see you guys later.